I am in the town of Sequim, Washington, and yes, I know it's right. It's written Sequim, and but you don't pronounce the E, as our friend Lynn said. It's a silent E. So this is the Olympic Peninsula. I will show you when I was in the most northwest point of the country, and this is gorgeous. It's such a beautiful place. I am in Washington and about to go into a Starbucks for some coffee, and but I wanted to share this with you. I was driving and thinking how happy I am with my diet, because I am making progress and I am not suffering. So I wanted to share that with you, and because there is so much information about this, we are going to have two videos, one about the diet itself and the other one because on the reasons why I decided to go on a diet and how I started. Because the most difficult thing for everybody is to actually start. We all want to improve our health. We all want to be healthier, just because we know that going to the doctor with one symptom and that will be a lot of money. So, and amazingly, Hippocrates, he said, I never know how to pronounce his name, but the guy has been dead for several centuries, so probably he's not going to get offended. But he said, he was the father of medicine, and he said, let your food be your medicine. And I think that is so wise, and it has been forgotten so badly that at least I want to share with you that it is possible, it is easy, you don't need to suffer, and you can see the results. So let me tell you some steps I took in order to be able to do the diet and to follow it right, and what the progress has been so far. So let's do it, and remember to check the end of the video, because I am trying to give you something beautiful in the end with a little bit of music, so your day starts or follows in a sweet, nice way. So don't forget that. So as many of you remember, I had a health scare at the beginning of the year. January, February, they were horrible months for me because I was fainting, my heart was racing like crazy, and I couldn't put my finger on what was happening, and I couldn't get an appointment with a doctor to tell me what was happening, which they never did anyway. Yay. Because let's agree, I am sure we agree that this health system, as many others, are designed to treat your symptoms. So if you have a headache, they give you an ibuprofen, but they don't explore what is giving you the headache. So they don't go to the root of the problem. And unfortunately, it's up to you to do that legwork, because it's the only way to improve and to get better health. So they did the tests, electrocardiograms and stress tests and everything, and my heart was racing, but it could take the beating. So my heart was strong enough to cope with that, And luckily, very luckily, it surprised me, my arteries are not clogged, so good. In the middle of the whole thing, that was good to be able to check that everything was in proper working order. But that left me with the question, what the heck is happening to me? If they cannot find anything, why am I not feeling well? Why I feel so weak? And why if I walk, I start getting dizzy? So I decided, first of all, and I told you about this, I decided I am overweight, so I decided to work on that. And I decided to go for the keto diet. Now, careful. Keto is extremely dangerous if you don't do it right. You are going to clog your arteries if you don't do keto properly. That is why we are going to have a second video just about keto and what the mines you can step on are, because it is really serious. This is a huge point. It is a really difficult diet. It doesn't work if you don't do it properly. But properly, it's quite easy actually. So let's go first for what I did. I decided to go on keto just because my triglycerides and my cholesterol, they are always very high. That is a that is something hereditary that I inherited from my blood. I don't know if you remember, but I have a mix of Spanish and Italian. So, and those Mediterranean peoples, they all eat fish and veggies. That's it. So when you bring that inheritance into these modern societies we have, where everything is based on gluten and grains and fried foods and those kind of things, our system doesn't know how to handle that. So that is why obesity happens. That is why diabetes happens. All those bad things for you, they happen because of our wrong diets. So I was certain that I wanted to do keto because keto helps your body understand how to process fats. So it burns your own fat. That is the dream. Perfect. So I knew I had that genetic configuration that needed to tackle the management of fats. That is why I decided to go into keto. Perfect. But why was I getting dizzy and lightheaded and kind of fainting? And why was my heart racing so badly? So I started making some sense out of that. Of course, my heart has to compensate for when my blood pressure goes down in order to keep sending blood to everywhere in my body, mostly my brain. So when my brain says, okay, I am not getting enough oxygen, I am shutting off. And then the lightheadedness happens. I started realizing, why would my blood pressure go down and start this cascade of symptoms that end up with me fainting? So my blood pressure may go down because I don't have enough sugar, but we know sugar is not the hero in these things. Sugar is usually the bad guy and the one to blame. There must be something else that causes my blood to be ineffective to transport all the oxygen that is needed. So what about the other factor that makes your blood pressure go down? The other factor is the other things that keep your blood full of liquids, because you can drink as much as you want, but if those liquids go away every time you go to the bathroom, and you go to the bathroom 20 times a day, there is not enough of those fluids going to your veins and creating volume so your heart can pump happily and efficiently. So what are the factors that you need in your system for the fluids to go to your veins and help your heart? Those are called electrolytes. So I have been reading a lot and watching great videos about that. And electrolytes are what manage all of our chemistry in our body. Electrolytes are just that. Sodium, potassium, magnesium in the proper amounts. That is what we need to anchor the liquids, to retain the liquids, so our blood pressure doesn't go down and we don't go fainting everywhere and scaring people. So when I had started understanding that, one of the first amazing conclusions I got to was magnesium. Magnesium is behind protecting you from many things. You do your research, but magnesium is what keeps us alive and healthy. Now, there are some things we take that deplete the magnesium in our system. And I have been taking proton pump inhibitors for 3 decades. What are proton pump inhibitors? Something as easy as omeprazole, lansoprazole. There are many different names, and they have their pharmacy names. But if you have had heartburn and you have taken omeprazole or any of those varieties, like as I said, lansoprazole, and I don't remember the other names, they should tell you not to take them for more than so many days, and then rest for 6 months before taking them again. They are not the magical solution for heartburn. They are not. The solution for heartburn is eating properly, and we go back to the diet. So, but yeah, because fried foods and weird sauces and things like that, they will ruin our stomach, and then we need omeprazole. So in my case, it was mostly dairy and some grains, like some breads, that would give me horrible heartburn. So I have been taking omeprazole for 30 years, non-stop. No 6 month period to wait for my body to get better, because I couldn't part ways with the omeprazole. I needed the omeprazole so I didn't have the horrible heartburn. It is such a vicious circle. You cannot get out of that. I did. So that is why I want to share this with you. So I decided to stop the omeprazole. And if you research those proton pump inhibitors that stop your stomach from creating too much acid, those proton pump inhibitors, they deplete your magnesium. So now we have 2 problems. You're taking a medication for your stomach so you don't have heartburn, but that one is creating a bigger problem by depleting you of magnesium, which is behind the main shield to protect you from lots of diseases. So we absolutely need magnesium. I don't want to be without magnesium. So what I decided is, okay, I am going to stop taking omeprazole, and I am going to see how I manage my heartburn one way or another. So I stopped basically using dairy. Now I can use yogurt. I prefer Greek yogurt, but we are going to talk about that on the keto diet video. So the point is, I stopped taking the omeprazole, and it took me about a month for my stomach to adapt again, because my stomach was used to producing only a certain amount of acid, and the minute I took the omeprazole out of there to regulate it, my stomach started producing a lot of acid. Yay! Omeprazole is not here. I can make as much acid as I want. So it was uncomfortable for about 10 days or so. So I got Tums, and I started managing. You know, you cannot eat more than 6 or 7 a day. So I reserved them for the evening and the night so I could sleep well. But okay, so I knew I had to go through the process of my body adapting to producing just enough acid. So I didn't give my body the things that irritated my stomach, like dairy. And gradually, my stomach decided to behave, and I started feeling better about that. But now, we are talking about 3 decades of taking proton pump inhibitors, and now we have to consider recuperating all that magnesium that was missing in my diet, in my system. So I did my research about that too, and I learned the magnesium you buy at Walgreens or CVS or those places, that is the cheapest form of magnesium you can get. I don't know how to say those names, but it is oxide, and I don't remember the other one. I will put them up here. So those two are good for nothing, because you absorb probably 5% of the volume you have in them. Our body is not designed to absorb those. The good ones come in at least one brand I found, and those are, I cannot pronounce those names except for the Tauret, not even that. So, but those ones come in this one particular brand that I found, and those ones are super effective. The bottle says you have to have 3 and 3, 2 times a day. That makes 6. And that is a big number for me. From going from nothing to 6, I thought, yeah, that is going to be too much. And I know people who have been taking that same magnesium for years, and they only take 1 or 2. So I decided, because everything is about balance, right? So I decided, since I have stopped taking the one thing that depleted my system of magnesium, I am going to start gradually. So I did give my body enough magnesium, like a shock. And I started with the 6 a day. And of course, I mean, the good thing about magnesium is you cannot have too much, because if you do have too much, it's going to cause you to go to the bathroom and expel it. So you know when you take too much, because you're going to be writing number 2, number 2, number 2 several times a day. So it's okay. You can take it and try how much your body really needs. So I started with 6 a day for about a week, and now I went down to 2 at night, with dinner or something. Just that, because now I know my body has some magnesium coming. We are going to find the balance, and I am already finding the balance. In my particular case, anxiety has always been a problem for me. I am feeling so much better, almost none. Magnesium also regulates inflammation in the body. Less and less pain every day. I don't know if you noticed, but I had this little shaking in my hands. Gone. What I say is, every body is different. We do have different influences. What I eat may not be what you eat. I have some other conditions that you may not have. It's a combination of all those factors. But again, now that I know that I was deficient in magnesium for sure, and no doctor thought of checking my levels, I got to that conclusion on my own. Now I am taking care of the proper intake of magnesium, so the magnesium takes care of all my other things, and I am feeling so much better. So I have high expectations for that. The other thing I did is, since we're talking about electrolytes, I included these little tablets. I just put one tablet in my bottle before I go for a walk, and this provides me with enough electrolytes so I don't get dehydrated. My blood has a good volume because I have a lot of fluids in my blood, and my heart can pump properly and keep my brain oxygenated. Therefore, I have found a great balance, so now I can walk to become healthier without feeling bad. It's amazing. I am so happy, you have no idea. So again, I put one of these in some water. I drink all that water. It has a nice taste depending on the ones you choose, because they come in many different flavors, some of them with caffeine and things like that. It's up to you, the one you choose. I chose this one. The name is Sports for Exercise, because I wanted for that so I can walk. And this one is a tri-berry, so it does taste like berries. So the water tastes like berries, but there is no sugar. I am so happy. That is why I wanted to recommend this to you, in case you feel like any of this may make some sense in your everyday life. If you get lightheaded, take some electrolytes before starting to getting worried about bigger things like I was doing. If you want to go to the doctor, that is perfect, in case there are some other things going on. If you faint and then your heart kind of stops, go to the doctor. Make sure your heart is right. But if you go to your physical once a year, if you know you're healthy and still you don't feel right, you're tired all the time, you cannot move, try with some electrolytes before you do some walking or exercise of any kind, because it might be the solution. Mostly, if you're over 50, over 60, we lose electrolytes way easier than young people. Young people have better bodies. They are younger bodies. Our little old machines need more care. So I think this is a great thing in my life. I am feeling amazing, and I am happy because I feel good. And I feel good because I took care of my health. I am taking care of my health just because as a nomad, I do have the time to take care of my health. So that is a concept you cannot forget when you're a nomad. Now you have time and you cannot have any excuses. You can treat yourself to health. Don't forget to make sure everything is working properly. Only your doctor can say that. But then you take care a little extra. Take a little bit more care of yourself. Thank you very much for being here. If you like this video, you know the drill. Please give me a thumbs up. Share this video with someone that gets lightheaded every time they walk. Maybe we can contribute to them becoming healthier by walking and exercising, which is so good for us. So I hope you liked it. See you soon.